Three generations, one missing role, where relationships are headed. Hello there, I am Dr. K. Paul Stoller. I want to talk about a long-term cultural shift that almost no one wants to name out loud. It's not about individual women. It's not about blaming men or women. It's about what happens when a role disappears and nothing replaces it. Specifically, the role of wife and what that loss means for long-term relationships. In the late 1960s, there were still semi-traditional wives. Many were unhappy. Many felt constrained, but they were wives. The role existed. Expectations, however imperfect, were clear. Marriage was understood as something you worked through, not exited the moment it became difficult. The next generation responded differently. Instead of reforming the role, they left it. Divorce became normalized. Commitment became conditional. Marriage was no longer something to reshape. It was something to abandon when it stopped feeling fulfilling. The current generation has taken the next step. Many aren't rejecting marriage, they're simply not entering it at all. Cultures function by transmitting roles. When a role is unjust or outdated, it must be reformed or replaced. What cannot happen without consequences is simple erasure. The role of wife was dismantled, but no equally strong relational framework was put in its place. Autonomy was elevated, but interdependence was never re-articulated. What followed wasn't liberation. It was ambiguity, and ambiguity favors short-term arrangements. Cohabitation without obligation, intimacy without permanence, support without duty. These arrangements work until stress arrives, and stress always arrives. If there's no major external shock, no war, no collapse, no event that forces men and women to rely on each other again, several trends are likely to continue. First, marriage polarizes. Marriage won't disappear, but it will become increasingly class and trait segmented. Highly conscientious, emotionally mature people will still marry each other, often later and very selectively. Everyone else will cycle through serial situationships that feel intense, meaningful, and serious, but lack durability. Loneliness won't be an individual failure anymore. It will be demographic. As family formation declines, the social structures that once compensated, extended families, neighborhoods, churches, continue to weaken. The state may try to replace relationships with services, but services do not reciprocate. As men perceive marriage as high risk and low reward, many won't protest. They'll disengage quietly, the juice not worth the squeeze. Work, hobbies, digital worlds, and solitude will replace relational striving. This isn't rebellion, it's adaptation. Without marriage, expectations don't disappear. They get displaced onto partners who are not institutionally bound. Over time, those expectations collide with demographic math, aging, and shrinking options. That collision often produces frustration and delayed reevaluation, sometimes too late for family formation. Modern relationships often speak the language of equality, but equality without structure is not stability. Without clear roles, responsibility, and authority, relationships default to endless negotiation and eventually exhaustion. The problem isn't love, it's architecture. What's missing isn't romance, it's instruction. Being a wife or a husband was once a learned role. Today, intimacy is expected to be intuitive, self-actualizing, and endlessly fulfilling. That expectation is historically novel and psychologically unrealistic. Relationships are now expected to provide emotional fulfillment, identity, sexual satisfaction, economic security, and personal growth. Very few relationships can carry that weight indefinitely without structure. Cultures eventually correct course, but not always gently. Either new relational models emerge that balance autonomy with obligation, or fragmentation continues until external pressure forces cooperation again. Absent catastrophe, the correction, if it comes, will be slow and uneven. The real question isn't whether women were taught to be wives. It's whether modern society will articulate any viable model of long-term partnership that people are willing to learn, practice, and defend. Until then, the trend isn't toward freedom or oppression. It's toward disconnection by default. And cultures built on default disconnection rarely remain stable for long. Rome lasted 500 years. We won't even get close.